Okay, so let's move on to number 15 now. Okay, to remember the time. So it says find the zeros of the function. So when you have a question like this, it's the same thing, but what was it? There was another question that like this was like this. Question number 12. So I told you, try and do the x method, and if it doesn't work, do the quadratic formula. Well, this one I'm going to tell you right now, we won't be able to use the big X, okay? So use the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay. Guys, you don't have enough time on the day of the final, so make sure you watch the videos before you take the test. I can't let you stay after class, okay? So there you go. First, you gotta know what your A, B, and C is. So A is 1, B is negative 4, and C is 2. Where did I get that information from? Right here. Okay, so now all you have to do is plug it in, okay? X equals negative, and then B is another negative 4. Plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that's negative 4 squared, minus 4ac. It always helps when you put all your numbers in parentheses, okay? 2 times a. So always it helps when you first work on this and that, and then do the others later on, okay? It's just take care of the easy stuff first. So 2 negatives make a positive, so that's positive 4 plus or minus, and then 2 times 1 is 2 at the bottom. Now let's look inside. Negative 4 squared is 16, and then negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, okay? So x equals 4 plus or minus square root of 8 over 2. We all know that the square root of 8 can be simplified. So 8 is 4 times 2, 4 is 2 times 2, right? So we already know that the 2 is going to be pulled out and only one 2 is going to be stuck, okay? So I'm gonna just go ahead and do it here. X equals 4 plus minus 2 square root of 2 all over 2. And I already explained this to you earlier, do the heart. But if that's hard for you to remember, just go ahead and separate it out. X equals 4 over 2 plus or minus 2 square root of 2 over 2. Now it's easy for you to simplify, so your answer is x equals 2 plus or minus square root of 2. And that's it. Number 16 is exactly the same as number 15, but you have an I, okay? So this time I'm going to rush it. A is 1, B is 6, C is 15, okay? So then there you go. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I can't help it. The song automatically comes out. I sing it with my kids. X equals negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times a times c. If I'm going too fast, just watch number 15. 2a. So then negative 6 plus or minus 36 minus, what is 4 times 15? 4, 4, 20. That's actually 60 all over 2. So that would be negative 6 plus or minus square root of negative 4, and then 5 minus 3 is 2 over 2. We know that we can simplify the 24 because 6 times 4, 4 is 2 times 2. 6 we already know is not going to separate anyways, right? So there you go. X equals negative 6 plus or minus. And then don't forget the square root of negative 1 is an I, so pull out the I. Okay, and then you go 2 square root of 6 over 2. Again, the heart or just separate it. Negative 6 over 2 plus or minus 2i square root of 6 over 2. Simplify. X equals negative 3 plus or minus I square root of 6 is your answer. So 15 and 16 is exactly the same, okay? Don't stress out, just do it. This is the easiest question on earth. You just highlight the x cubed and the x cubed, combine them together, x squared and the x squared, combine them together. The number by itself, the number by itself, combine them together, and then you realize, oh, I have something by itself. Okay, so now let's solve it. Your answer has to be in standard form. That means you write the letter with the highest exponent first. So you're going to write x to the third power first. So you see a -8 and a 3. But before you do anything, oh, I noticed this is a subtraction problem. Oh, so before I color coded, I was supposed to do what? I was supposed to first distribute the negative, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Oh gosh, I almost made a big mistake and you would have all gotten mad at me. So I copy the front part, which is 48 minus 8x cubed plus 4x squared. And then the back part, let's distribute the negative. -3x cubed minus 10x squared plus 2x minus 5, okay? So then let's combine like terms. I'll use the same colors, okay? So green for the numbers, and then yellow for the x because there was no other, and then red for the x cubed, and then blue for the x squared. Now let's combine them. So I'm going to start with x cubed because you gotta write your answer in standard form. -8 minus 3 is -11. Same sign, you add and you keep the symbol. I don't know, a lot of my students don't get that. And now I'm going to write x squared, and I see 4 minus 10. So different symbols, you subtract 10 minus 4 is 6. And then you keep the symbol for the bigger number, -6, all right? And then the x is by itself, so I just copy it. If you cannot find a match, you just copy it, okay? And then the number by itself, 48 minus 5 is 43. Ta-da! That's my answer. 18, another super easy one. You multiply like this, like that, and then don't forget to multiply like this, like that. Okay, so an easy way to write this out is x times all of the stuff in the back. 3x squared minus x plus 7. That would be the red marker. And then for the back, I'm just going to put plus 2 times everything in the back. 3x squared minus x plus 7. So when you write it out like this, it's so much easier for you. Yep, it really is. So then 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. X times -x is -x squared. X times 7 is 7x. 3x squared times 2 is 6x squared. And then 2 times -x is -2x. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, so again, we have to combine like terms, like question number 17, right? So x cubed is all by itself. Then we have x squared, and then we have x, and then we have the number by itself. So just combine that. And you gotta have your answer in standard form. So I'm going to start with the cubed. Now I'm going to put the x squared, and I see -1 plus 6, so that's +5. And then I see the x. 7 minus 2 is +5. And then the number by itself, plus 14. Easy peasy. I don't know how I'm doing with time right now. 18, just making sure. Oh, 19 I mean. So in order for us to divide this, remember long division? So the 2x minus 3 goes over here. And then all of this stuff go here. Make sure it's in standard form. So x squared, x, 7. So there's nothing missing, right? And I know, remember we took crazy long notes on this one. So we're just looking at 2x and 6x squared, okay? So we gotta multiply those two. 2x times what becomes 6x squared? Yep, 3x. So multiply the 3x times 2x, which is 6x squared. Multiply -3 to 3x, -9x. Then, because you got to subtract, we're going to change the symbol. Then -13x plus 9x is -4x. Bring down the plus 7. So now you're only looking at 2x and -4x, okay? So 2x times what is that? Well, 2x times -2. -2 is -4x. And then -3 times -2 is +6. We gotta subtract again, which means change the symbol, change the symbol. So that one cancels out. 7 minus 6 is 1. So how do you write your answer? Your answer is going to be 3x minus 2, and then your remainder is 1. So plus 1 over this thing right here, 2x minus 3. Last question. Exactly same thing, but you see there's a hole here, x to the third power squared, and then there's no x. So make sure you leave a space for that one. You can also use synthetic division because you already know that all you have to do is plug in 3 over there. So I'm just going to show you how to do it using synthetic division because it's just so much easier. So I'm going to put 5, and then for x squared, the coefficient is 7. There's nothing for x, so I'm going to put 0, and then the number by itself, negative 12. Drop, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply. 3 times 66 is 198. And then add, which is 186. So what's your answer? So number by itself, so your answer is going to be 66, and then this is x, and then this is x squared. So 5x squared plus 22x plus 66. And my remainder is 186 over what? X minus 3. And we are done. I know that you're going to get 100% on every single section. Yeah? Happy testing. Goodbye.